Hey friends, it's Kari from the Alford Homestead, and today I wanted to share with you another way that we use up our rabbit meat to make a delicious home-cooked meal. So rabbit can be a little bit gamey tasting and tough. So there's a special way to prepare them. And there's two main ways, and I showed you guys with my rooster video one way to do it, which is to put it in the slow cooker until it falls off the bones. This is another way that I'm doing this. So I soaked the rabbit in buttermilk overnight, and then I'm just pounding them down till they're about a half an inch thick to help tenderize them even further. This was leftover shredded meat that I had from the carcass, which I slow roasted just to get the rest of that meat off of the rabbit. So I'm just going to make a quick gravy using some of the broth that came out of slow cooking the rabbit carcass. You can use whatever gravy recipe you like. I'm just using up pantry staples here and using up that rabbit broth that I got from slow cooking my rabbit. This is a really quick and efficient way to make sure you're using up every last bit of your homegrown meat that you can, be it chicken, rabbit, turkey, or whatever you have. So I've just got a couple of tablespoons of butter that I am putting in with a couple of tablespoons of flour and slowly adding that rabbit broth. As it gets thick, you just want to keep stirring and stirring, just constantly stirring and keep an eye on it. You might need more liquid. Just go slow and steady with it and add little by little until you're happy with the consistency. And I did top it off with a little bit of milk just to give it a little bit of a thinner consistency, and salt and pepper to taste, of course. So I'm just going to pop the lid on this gravy while I go ahead and return back to the meat. So I've got the main sections of the rabbit here. I'm not a butcher, okay, but rabbits are really easy to take the meat off the bones. They're not as hard as chickens in my opinion. So that wasn't too difficult actually. I got some really nice chunks of meat, and when you flatten them out a bit with the mallet like I did, it makes it into a nicer portion of meat to cook, and it cooks a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to take some flour, salt, and pepper and toss it all together. You can toss it in a bag or whatever you want. Just a light coating. I'm not making this into schnitzel or something, although that might be an idea for the next rabbit I have. Okay, so I'm going to get my skillet on medium high. I've just got about a 1/4 inch of oil in here. I've got refined olive oil because it has a higher smoke temperature than unrefined and virgin olive oil. And I'm just going to gently put my rabbit pieces in the pan. And it takes about 3 to 4 minutes per side. You just want to keep an eye on the temperature, which is why I have my little temperature gauge in there. Those are really handy to check the inside temperature of the meat because not all of the pieces were exactly a 1/2 inch thick. So just keep that in mind with your pieces. The thicker pieces might take a little bit longer, the thinner pieces a little bit shorter. So the great thing about the buttermilk is that not only do you get rid of that gamey taste that might be lingering in your meat, but it also tenderizes it, as well as the mallet, using the mallet that also helps to tenderize it. Keep in mind that the most tender part of the rabbit is that back strap. It's called a saddle, a rabbit saddle, and that's actually the best, most tender part. So you could almost just take off those chunks of meat and do this if you still find that your rabbit is a bit gummy or tough to chew. However, my girls devour this stuff regardless. We even use the flaps on the side of the rabbit, which a lot of people just discard because it is pretty chewy. But actually in this way, with the buttermilk, the flavor is phenomenal. It is a little chewy still, but my girls inhaled it so fast. And like I said, if you really have an issue with the toughness, then save the backstrap for frying and then just slow cook the rest of the meat like you would any other slow cooker recipe. You guys, this meal was so delicious. I hope you give this a try, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have other methods for serving rabbit. I'll see you guys next time.